Hi there, Emily Midget here with you today for 6th Street Sundries, and today I am hopping along with Hero Arts to help introduce their new core Hero Hues ink line. They've got some beautiful new colors, some beautiful new cardstocks, and we're going to introduce them all and inspire you today with lots of beautiful color. So these new core ink line, we've got all 57 colors of Hero Arts ink in these beautiful core ink pads. There are some colors that overlap from previously released colors, and then there are some new colors, but the big thing that's really exciting about this is that we have inkers to match all of the individual ink pads. So now when your ink pad starts to run dry, instead of buying a new one, you can purchase a small bottle of inker and you can re-ink that ink pad. And so there are two different kinds. There are dye inks and then there are hybrid inks. And the formulation of each is a little bit different. Dye ink has a little bit, it's water-based. The hybrid ink is a little bit differently formulated. So it's got a little bit different texture to it. But I'm gonna show you how to re-ink this amethyst ink pad. This is brand new, so it doesn't really need any ink in it, but I'm going to show you how I ink pads. It's very simple. You shake the inker bottle, and then you just run that, squeezing gently, run that bottle over the top of your ink pad. I like to go side to side on the short side, and then I go side to side on the long side, making sure that I cover that entire ink pad and really get it nice and saturated. So there you have it, very simple. Some people like to take a credit card or an old gift card and kind of run that along there too to help spread the ink out, but I have never found that to be necessary. So the Hero Hues core ink line, they all have their own individual inkers to coordinate. So that is really exciting. It's going to save you guys, I think, a lot of money in having to buy new ink pads. And some of the other fun things that you can do with the ink bottles, the inker bottles, I have created, this is raspberry jam, I have created a water spray with it. I've used the water misting bottle, and I've added several drops of the raspberry jam inker to that bottle of water. It was about third full of just plain water, and then I taped a stencil over to the top of a piece of watercolor paper and just spritzed that over the top. And you can see it created, and this was just taped down. If you use like an adhesive spray, the impression would be a little bit better. The image would be a little bit better, a little bit more crisp. But just for demonstration purposes, this was really quick and simple. And I zapped it with my heat gun and had that really neat background that was kind of distressed looking. So for a project today, I'm going to use the Critter Silhouettes stamp set, and I'm going to use amethyst, raspberry jam, ultra pink inks. All of those are in the core ink colors. I do have a couple of the older ink pads, but I'm going to show you how I create an ombre image from a solid image. I've inked up part of that butterfly image with the amethyst ink, and then I've just kind of taken my blending brush and tapped it on the very edges to kind of blur the edges a little bit to make sure that there is no harsh line on that top third of that inked up area. So I'm going to do that a few times to make sure that I get good coverage. I'm using my Misty, obviously, to get really good coverage. And now I'm going to clean that off and use my hand, the oils in my hand, to kind of prime that stamp again, because it is solid stamp. And so it's a little bit, it can be a little bit finicky when it comes to inking up a solid stamp. So that's why the Misty is an incredibly valuable tool when it comes to inking up solid stamps particularly. So again, I'm using a coordinating blending brush to just kind of muddle the edges a little bit to make sure that those edges, top and bottom, are not super delineated, to kind of muddle them up a little bit so that they fade nicely into one another. First I used amethyst, then raspberry jam, and now this final color is ultra pink. And again, I'm just using that blending brush to kind of blend those edges and muddle them and make sure that we get a nice smooth fade from purple to that deep pink to that kind of medium pink. So I've used a pair of scissors to just fussy cut that image out, that butterfly image out. And now this is some of the new cardstock. We've got some beautiful new shades of purple. There are a ton of beautiful new shades of cardstock. The one I ended up using is called Iris. It's a gorgeous intense shade of purple, and I'm going to die cut that from the Celebrate Words die. This is using the new Hero Arts compact cutter that was released earlier this year, and it's got a 3-inch base, so it's perfect for cutting these smaller word dies, and they're very intricate, and it only took me running it back and forth one time. So, and you can see how beautifully crisply that gorgeous iris cardstock cut out. And I've cut that once from the purple, the Happy Birthday, I've cut it once from the purple cardstock and twice from white cardstock. We're gonna layer those together. And then I also have die cut the butterfly confetti die from just some plain white cardstock, and I've reserved a few of the little confetti pieces. So now I'm just going to use the Hero Arts precision glue to adhere those layers together to create a dimensional die cut. This just adds a little bit of extra height to that happy die cut, and it kind of stabilizes a little bit. It's a very intricate, delicate die cut, and so adding those 2 extra die cuts behind the purple helps to stabilize it and make it a little bit easier to place on my card front, as well as giving it a little bit of extra dimension and height. So I've done it with both the happy and the birthday, and now we're just going to start assembling the card. I've got my little confetti pieces that we're going to use to accent, and then I'm going to take a piece of white glitter paper. This is the Glitter Paper Basics from Hero Arts, and I'm going to layer that confetti, that butterfly confetti die cut over the top, and just allow that glittery background to pop through on that matte white card front. So now I am adding the ombre butterfly that we inked up with the new amethyst ink and raspberry jam and ultra pink. I added it with some foam tape, and now I am adding my die cut words with some foam tape. I'm also using the Hero Arts tweezers, these precision tweezers, which are a really great tool. I use tweezers on basically every project, and every time I'm placing die cuts on a card, it helps me to see where I am placing my die cuts more easily. So now we have the little die cut butterfly confetti. I am kind of, I'm using my fingers to crease the center of those die cut butterflies so that they have some third dimensional quality to them, and I'm adhering them in the center with precision glue, and they just kind of pop up a little bit. So we've got dimension from the ombre butterfly with the foam tape, we've got dimension from the Happy Birthday, the triple die cut Happy Birthday sentiment, and then we've got dimension from these 3D butterflies that we're adhering to the card front with precision glue. And it's just a simple card, but it really shows how gorgeous that new iris cardstock and the beautiful, nicely saturated inks that we use the re-inker, or that we use the new core inker on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it helped you maybe see how easy it is to ink up your ink pads, and you'll get some of those inkers for your ink pads that were a little bit dry. So head over to my blog. We've got a blog hop going on with lots of inspiration, lots of colorful inspiration for you. And there are prizes. So go head over to my blog at emilymidget.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.